Hi, this is Jason Collins, and I am going to be demonstrating how to create a quiz on Edmodo. Edmodo is a website that teachers can use to set up classrooms for each of their classes. Now, I teach middle school, so I have a group on my Edmodo site for each one of my periods, which you can actually see over here. I have an elective class, which is a robotics class, and then I teach 3 sections of Math 6, and I teach a section of pre-algebra. So today I'm in one of my Math 6 classes, and I am going to demonstrate how to create a quiz that I would like to use for my Math 6 classes. There's lots of great things that you can do with Edmodo, and students really like it because they say it's similar to Facebook in that they can post comments, they can post pictures. Everything that is uploaded to their group page, though, is moderated by the instructor. And the only people that can join it are those that are given a code, which is over here. So if I wanted somebody in my Period 6 math class to join it, I would give them this code, and they would enter that on their own personal Edmodo page, and then they would join my class. So it's a really great resource where you can do lots of things. You can post assignments. I've got a video on here. It's actually one that I used for our class as well. So there's just lots of great things. You can give polls, you can make quizzes, you can post assignments, you can add alerts, you can manage the students in the group. You can in the class, you can put them into smaller groups if they're doing a group project so that they're all together and they can make comments together. There's lots of great things like that that they can do with Edmodo. So today I will show you how to make a quiz. So to start with, I'm in my class and I am going to select quiz. When I do that, you're given a couple of choices. You can either create a quiz or you can load a previously created one. Like if I had created one for a different class and I wanted to use it for this class, I could just load it again. But for this one, I'm going to create a new quiz. First thing I need to do is to change the name of this. We've been working on percents in my class, specifically landmark percent. So I'm going to call this landmark percent quiz. I'm going to give them 20 minutes to do this quiz. I don't think it should take them much longer than that. There's only going to be, I think, 6 questions. So then you have a choice of what type of question you would like to ask. You have multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, or matching. When you're ready and you know which kind, then you just select add first question. I'm going to do one of each kind, so my multiple choice is the first one, so I'm going to select add first question. So my first question, I'm just going to type in the question prompt here. It says, what is 50% of 220? Up here you have the choice of how many points you want the question to be worth. I'm just going to do 1 point for each of my questions. If there's a link or some other file that you want to attach to these questions, you have those options as well. The answer choices that I've picked out are going to be 21, 110. I have 2 more choices, so I need to select add responses so I can add a couple more choices. 120 and 100. Now obviously 21 is not the correct answer to this question. 110 is, so I need to set that as the correct answer, and I do that by clicking that. Okay, that's my first question. I'm ready to move on to my second question, so I'm going to come over here and hit the plus sign. Again, same format, but this time I would like to do a true-false question, so I'm going to select true-false. This is where I type my question. I'm going to say 14 is 10% of 140. That is a true statement, so therefore I'm going to leave this as true. And then I'm done with that question. Now I'm going to add another question. This one I'm going to do is a short answer question. This question says, in the space below, type what 50%, 10%, and 1% of 180 are. That's all I will type for that one. The students will be given space to write their responses to that question. I'm ready for my next question, which is going to be a fill in the blank. For this one, where your blank is going to be, you just need to type an underscore. So I'm going to actually create two of these questions. My first one is going to say 10% of 65 is blank. Now when I click down here, notice that the blank got a little bit bigger. So 10% of 65 is 6 5/10. So there's where you write your answer. And I'm going to make another question. That is a fill in the blank. This one's going to say the phrase percentum means out of blank. And what it means is out of 100. The last question that I'm going to add on here is a matching question. So on here it says this is where you type your instructions. So my instructions are going to be match the value on the left with the value on the right that represents 10% of the value on the left. So when you enter your answers on here, you're going to put A, your answer choice with A, with the correct answer choice as 1. B's correct answer choice will be 2. C's correct answer choice will be 3. What this yellow box here says is after you create the quiz, the choices will be randomized, so it will not be just a left to right correspondence. So my answer choices are 62, and the correct answer for 62 is 6.2. Then I also have 6.2, and the correct answer for that is 62 hundredths. And then my last one is 620, and the correct answer is 62. So I'm just going to do 3 choices. When you're done with your quiz, or if you want to change some things, you've got a couple options. Over here on the left it says drag and drop question numbers to reorder. So if you decide that you want to move the order of some of your questions, you just have to drag and drop these. Over here on the right, you can also check this box, which will randomize the questions, so that when students are taking the quiz, they might not be doing the exact same questions at the same time, which is sometimes a good idea. It's usually a good idea to preview your quiz before you finalize it, just to make sure it looks the way you want it to. So over here, you can preview it, and you also have the option to print it. One other thing that I'm looking at right now before I preview this is you do have the option to remove a question. If you type up the question and realize that it's not what you want, or you just change your mind, you can always just remove it as well. So next I'm going to preview the quiz just so we can see what it's going to look like. You can see it gives some basic data. It says the title, landmark percent quiz. It says that there will be 6 total questions. The time limit will be 20 minutes. If you're done previewing your quiz, you can always come up here and select End Preview. I'm going to go ahead and check this to make sure it all looks good, so I'm going to say Start Quiz. So my first question was, what is 50% of 220? I'm going to select B as my answer. To move to the next question, I'm going to select this right arrow. Here, my true-false question, 14 is 10% of 140. That is true. Go to the next question. In the space below, type what 50%, 10%, and 1% of 180 are. I'm going to type in 90, 18, and 1 8/10. 10% of 65 is 6 5/10. The phrase percentum means out of 100. And now I need to match these. It says match choices by rearranging options on the right side or clicking save. So I'm going to, let's see, this one is correct. this one needs to go up here, and that one goes there. Then we'll say save. So I'm done, so then I would say submit quiz. Are you sure you want to end? Yes. Students then have a little choice here. They can say what they thought of the quiz. Got some different choices, which are always good. So I'm done looking at mine, so I'm going to say end preview. So my quiz looks good, I'm happy with it, and then to finalize it, I will say assign quiz. So now it's on my period 6 math site. My due date, I want this to be due, we'll say tomorrow, Friday, March 22nd. I will add it to the gradebook. And if you would like to schedule it at another time, let's say you wanted to assign it next Monday and have it due by Wednesday, you could change these dates on here. Mine's going to be send now. Right now you can also see that it's going to go to my period 6 math class. I could also type it to, or add it to my period 4, which I think I'll do, and my period 7, since they were all studying the same thing. So I'll send it to all 3 of my classes, and I'll say send. So now on each of those, it has that quiz on there, and it tells me exactly how many students have turned it in. And this is going to be due tomorrow, so I'll know exactly how many did it. I really like using different assessment tools, and I think the assessment tool on Edmodo is a really good one. I also use clickers in my classroom, which is another good technology tool that allows students to participate in a whole group format, but that it's still a different type of activity that allows for, it's not necessarily novelty, but it does allow for something different. When you give the exact same type of assessments or homework assignments or things like that every single day, students do get bored of that. I know as a teacher I get bored of that, so I do like to do things differently. And I'm always looking for different ways to assess students. So when I started using Edmodo, I was really excited about using the quiz feature because we do have laptops for our team at my school, my middle school, so we have an entire cart of 32 laptops that's dedicated to just our team, and I can use those as long as none of the other teachers are using them, and it's very helpful. I know that providing different assessment formats is one of the standards for this class. It's NETST number 2, and it's part D, which actually says provide students with multiple and varied formative and summative assessments aligned with content and technology standards, and use resulting data to inform learning and teaching. So obviously from the data that I would collect from this quiz, I would see whether I needed to do some more direct instruction on what landmark percents are. I might be able to take it into something further and get more practice on coming up with different percents that are not those landmark percents. But I would be able to use this data to decide where to go with this material. So I hope you enjoyed this instructional video on how to create quizzes on Edmodo. It's definitely something that I use, other teachers on my team use as well. We've all been really excited about using this feature. So thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions or comments.